Hello, everybody. So last time we worked on playing From the Frog without the tubes on our open strings. So this week we're going to start a new skill called string crossings. Okay. So the process of moving from one string to another, okay, it's just simply called a string crossing. And you cross strings typically when the bow is stopped between strokes. So I'm on the D string. I pull a bow stroke, and then I pause. I switch to the A string, and I go the other direction. Pause, switch strings. Now, as I get better and better at string crossings, the pause becomes smaller and smaller, to the point where you may not even realize that there's a pause. It's so fast. Okay. I'm still crossing the string between strokes, but I'm doing it so quickly that you can't really tell that that's happening. So string crossings are a big skill that we have to work on. So there are 4 string crossing drills, and there is a PDF of these drills in the 5th grade public strings folder. If you need to go there, you can print them off, okay, if you need a visual. Drill number 1 is playing 2 Ds and 2 As starting down bow. Okay, so I'm going to put my metronome on 60. It's a little bit slower than normal. Okay, I'm going to start on the D string. I'm going to play 2 D strings and 2 A strings. Now, because I'm starting at the frog, that string crossing happens at the frog, okay, which is why it's the easiest drill. Okay, so try that a few times, and then can you string together 2 or 3 of those patterns at the same time? So I'll do 2 in a row. Okay. And you want to work up to the point where you can do 4 in a row, 5 in a row, 6 in a row, and stay with the metronome. Very important. So a lot of young students can get the motion down, but they can't do it at a steady pace. They can't do it with a metronome. So don't forget the metronome component. Okay, so drill number 1, D, D, A, A. Okay, starting at the frog, starting down bow. Okay, drill number 2 would be D, D, A, A, starting up bow, starting at the tip. Okay, so I'll do one of those for you. Okay, at the tip on the D string. Now in this pattern, you have to cross the string at the tip. Okay, that's why this pattern is a little bit more difficult than pattern number 1. Okay, so if I do 2 in a row, again, D string at the tip. And again, you want to try to work up to doing many, many, many in a row with the metronome. Okay. If it's difficult at first, you can try a slower tempo. You can also try using small bows. So maybe you only use half a bow. And then as you get better at it, try to use more bow. And then when you get really good at it, try to use a full bow. Okay. So that's drill number 2. String crossing drill number 3. Okay, you're going to go back to the frog, and now you're going to play D, A, D, A. So only one of each string, which means you have to cross the string twice as often. Okay. So if I just do one pattern, it looks like this. And again, you want to try to string together several in a row. Okay. Pleasing sound, no crunching with the metronome. Okay, and then string crossing drill number 4, the last one, is D-A-D-A, starting up bow, starting at the tip. So again, you're crossing the string every bow stroke. Okay, metronome on. Okay. Or if I do 2 in a row, ready, play. Now, number 3 and 4, drills 3 and 4 look very similar, but they are not the same. Okay, so don't skip one. Okay, drill number 3 uses a clockwise pattern. So when I cross the string, I create this clockwise circle. Okay, drill number 4, because I start up bow, it creates a counterclockwise pattern. Okay, so even though they're both D-A-D-A, because one starts at the frog and one starts at the tip, they have a different physical pattern, clockwise or counterclockwise. So make sure to do both separately. My students, typically it takes about 3 weeks of doing this 3 or 4 times a week for them to get really good at it. This is not an easy skill. This is not something you can just watch the video and boom, I've got it. So over the course of the next several weeks, use this as your warm-up drill for your practice session. Maybe some days you start with drill number 1, maybe some days you start with drill number 3, maybe 4, maybe 2. Maybe some days you go a little faster, maybe some days you go a little bit slower. Maybe some days you use the G string and the D string, or you use the C string and the G string for the violas, or you use the A string and the E string for the violins. But this is a drill that you're going to have to do many, many, many times over the next several weeks to get really good at it. It just takes a ton of repetition. Okay, so maybe watch this video once a week for the next 3 or 4 weeks and practice these drills, 3 or 4 minutes, 3 or 4 times a week until you get really good at it. Okay, and let me know if you have any questions. Good luck. Have fun.